final question. Draft in the Sphere. Just saw a report that the NHL's draft next year may be held in the new Las Vegas Sphere. Is this possible? And if so, what do you think? This comes from Jack Birch 11. So yeah, pretty shocking. The NHL draft is obviously happening in Vegas next year, but it might be happening in the new Vegas Sphere. If you haven't seen it, it's this massive sphere that is all LED lights. From the outside, they can turn it into literally anything. As you can see in this, they turn it into an eyeball from time to time. It's truly horrifying stuff. It is like the eyeball. I don't know why they did that, but they can turn it into anything. They could turn it into they turned it into basketball during summer league for the NBA. It is state of the art. U2 performed there last week. I watched like every single TikTok and video on it because it looks so cool. It's this tiny stage and then this massive LEDs that just an EDM festival would be absolutely insane there. Just all these visuals piling up. And you might be thinking to yourself, why would the NHL, what connection does the NHL have to this sphere? Why would they go to the sphere? And it's because this sphere was inspired and built by James Dolan, who's the executive chair of Madison Square Garden. It was his idea. And obviously James Dolan is the current owner of the New York Rangers. So there's definitely some ties to the sphere in the NHL. Could they get maybe a slight discount on it doing at the sphere? Yeah, I guess so. I guess they could. They definitely have to pay some money, but compared to T-Mobile, you would want to change it up and do it in the sphere. As for the layout of the sphere, basically the screen, there's like a floor section by the screen, and that's like the stage. The stage, because it's a sphere. Like there's a circle, there's a screen. Where the screen is where the stage is. Then there's like floor seats. So I think what they would do is they'd have the screen, they'd have the floor, the stage, where obviously the people get drafted to. And then they'd have all the teams on the floor area. It'd be a little bit weird. And then all the players, I guess, sitting in the 200s, fans in the 300s and 400s. It seats about 17,000, 18,000, I think. So it seats basically your normal NHL arena. But looking back at that layout, it would be a little bit weird because what makes the draft so cool is how close the fans are to the NHL arena. So, like, how close they are to the actual executives. Like, I remember I sat like 15 feet away from Lou Lamoriello at the Montreal draft. It's so cool watching them go through the process. That's my one concern with the sphere, as we look at this, because you'd be sitting in the 300s, 400s, most likely, maybe the 200s. It would really take away that personal aspect when it comes to the draft. And the giant sphere, I don't know how it works for a concert because they're flashing all these different visuals. They're not flashing who's on the screen, like the band. They're flashing a bunch of weird, wacky, hallucinogenic pictures. It's all these trippy images that gets you in the vibe to a certain song. I don't know what they do with the NHL draft. I don't know how they would flash highlights. They'd flash the guy walking up. And it's very high up. You see how it's just one section? It is very like steep. It's just these bleachers that go all the way back. It is very steep. So I don't know how effective this would be for an NHL draft. I'd be fascinated. I'm going next year most likely. I think it would be a very cool look for the NHL to do it just for PR standpoints, if that makes sense. This would be a massive headline, them doing the draft here. I think that would be cool, but from a pure fan experience and even from a broadcast experience, I'm not that big of a fan. I'm not gonna lie. I think they should just do it at T-Mobile Arena, but I wouldn't be opposed to them doing it at the Sphere. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about it? Do you want to see a draft of the Sphere?